1.
Good morning. Today we're going to do some window shopping. We are going to, on our agenda, explore a variety of topics, and we're going to be investigating potential arguments you could select for your research project. Do you know what window shopping means? Have you ever gone window shopping before? Window shopping is when you go to a store and you don't actually buy anything or make any decisions, but you just walk around and look to see what the store has to offer without actually purchasing something. So today we're going to do that. We're going to walk around, we're going to see what options are out there, but we're not going to make any decisions, or we're not going to make any decisions at least until the end of the period. So the first thing I want you to do with a partner is I want you to define the word controversy. So what does controversy mean, and can you come up with any synonyms for the word controversy? Okay, so a controversy is a public disagreement. So that means it's not between two individuals. It's something that society as a whole might disagree about, and it has to be prolonged. So it's not something that lasts for just a few days, but it stretches out over years. And it's heated. So heated means there's lots of emotions involved. There's people who very much believe one thing, and there's people who very much believe another thing. Synonyms for controversy might be argument, squabble, debate. It's important to understand the word controversy because we are going to be looking at controversies. Controversies are going to form the basis for your research and your research paper for this particular unit. So you're going to be focusing on issues that affect society as a whole, issues where they've lasted a long time and people are all worked up. So let's return to the inquiry model we use when we do research here in Baldwinsville. This isn't the first time you've seen this. You've seen the same model in 8th grade, and you saw this model when you did your 9th grade global studies paper. So remember, with the inquiry model, there's all these different phases. We typically start with the connect phase and work this way, but because it's circular and the arrows go both directions, we can always return to an earlier phase if we need to do so in order to make changes or make different or better decisions. So today we're going to be in the connect phase, and in the connect phase, the very first phase of the inquiry model, we're going to be looking at our options. So today, as you are in the connect phase, you're going to figure out what controversies are out there. We also want to know during the connect phase is, do the controversies that I'm identifying, do they have a lot of good resources? When it's time to actually sit down and take notes, am I going to be able to find a lot of articles? I don't think you're going to want to pick a controversy where there isn't a lot of research about it. It's going to make your life more difficult, and it's going to be more difficult to put an argument together if you can't find a lot of those other sources. We also want to know, is that controversy interesting? You're going to be spending a significant amount of time with it, so you don't want to pick something that's boring. You really want to be engaged in that particular controversy. We also want to make sure that it's understandable. Some of the controversies that are out there deal with very specific scientific information, or maybe they're very specific government policies or regulations. And if it's a really complicated issue that maybe we're struggling to understand during the connect phase, it might not be a good controversy to pick for the research project because we're going to have to invest so much time in learning background information that we're going to fall behind. So that's why we're doing the connect phase today. So today we're going to be using a database called Opposing Viewpoints in Context. And this database that we use today is going to look an awful lot like, or almost identical to, the issues databases we used for global studies. So the format shouldn't be new for you. So let's talk about how we get to the databases. And I have up here BVL. I want you to remember those 3 letters because we're going to come back to them. So here's how we get to the database. You're going to go to Baldwinsville Central Schools, and you're going to hover over Schools, and then you'll click on Durgee Junior High. Once you've gotten to Durgee Junior High, you're going to click Learning Commons Library, and you're going to hover over Research, and you're going to click Database Articles. So right now, I've already put in the password for today, but if you haven't already logged into the library website, you're going to have to enter this password, BVL, to get into this page. So we're going to be using the GAL databases. And I want to point out that if you need to get to GAL databases from home, look down here. See where my mouse is, where I'm highlighting? Here's the information you're going to use if you want to access the database from home. So you won't need a username, and you're going to use the password Empire link. Okay, that's the information you're going to have to put in when you click here. So we're going to click on GAL opposing viewpoints in context. It's the third bullet down, okay? Make sure you're clicking this specific database. So we're going to open that up, and you're going to see that it's organized similar or in a similar way to the ones we looked at in global studies. So they've taken each of the controversies that the database covers, and they've put them into these broad categories. Like there's a category for business and economics, and energy and environmentalism, and law and politics, and society and culture. So reading these headings is a good place to start, because maybe you're really into the environment, so you might start here. Or maybe you're thinking, I might want a career in health someday, so I'm going to click here. Or maybe you love technology, so you might come here. Okay, when you found a portal, or when you found a broad category that sounds interesting, you can click View All. So I'm going to click View All, and whoa, I have a ton of options in front of me. So you can read through the list. You'll see under this society and culture, I have everything from Black Lives Matter to nutrition to NASA to the millennial generation, which is what I think you're considered part of. And you can click on any that you find are interesting. So for the course of the project, I'm going to use junk food as my topic. So I'm scrolling down, and I am looking for where junk food is. Here it is. So I'm going to open junk food. And this is called a portal. So here's a portal. And this is the portal I'm going to be using today. So you should have in front of you a sheet that looks like this. It says Window Shopping, Exploring Argument Topics. You're going to find this handout in Classroom. So go ahead and open this handout in Classroom if you have not already done so. So on this handout, let's look at a couple of the things you're going to need. So in the first column, it says Portal Topic. So to find the portal topic, you're just going to look up here. See right here where it says Topic? And then in big bold letters, it says junk food. So on my handout, I would write junk food. All right, so then the next thing it asks for is related topics. So related topics, if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see over on the right-hand side of your page a box devoted to related topics. And I want you to look at the related topics, because chances are good if you like junk food, or you think the idea of junk food is interesting, you might also like some of these related topics. So I want to make sure you're reading the related topics, and feel free to click on them and use them later on too. So you're going to look at the related topics. So mine say food safety, genetically modified food, local food movement. So on your handout, you are going to list some of those related topics. Okay. The next thing you should do on the portal is you should skim the first few sentences of this overview article. If you want to read the whole thing, awesome, but you don't have to at this point. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to find the two boxes that are labeled viewpoints. You can think of viewpoints as one side in the controversy. So each of these viewpoints is going to offer different perspectives on a topic. So for example, featured viewpoints, they've selected 6 that they think highlight the most important controversies within the junk food topic. And then they have 43 regular viewpoints. You'll see that there are lots of different ways we could approach this controversy. We could talk about banning junk food. We could talk about how junk food contributes to obesity. We could talk about the school lunch program and how that impacts nutrition. We could talk about marketing for children. There's lots of different ways we could approach the argument. So on your handout, you need to look at those viewpoints, and you need to pick 3 that you think are the most interesting. Okay? So you're going to go through and you're going to do 3 or 4 different portals today. And at the end of the period, you are going to select a viewpoint that you think is most interesting.